Dondre, it's set up for us to get Brian Branch in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
It's our only glaring need at the moment. I remember we picked Terrell Edmonds in the first, and nobody had him as a first-round talent, at least. If we get Brian Branch, he's a first-round talent lock and can play CB.
Brings up a good point right there. I mean, Brian Branch definitely has the versatility that we're looking for. If he's available, I'm sure he's definitely going to be in play for us. It's just that same conversation of Brian Branch. If one of these corners are available during that time, are you looking at the corner over Brian? If one of these offensive linemen are available at the time, are you looking at Brian over the offensive lineman? That's the whole dilemma. And then that doesn't even count for Deke's, wandering eyes on the Jordan Addisons that be just lurking around there as well. So Brian Branch is definitely going to be in play. I feel like even more so now because of what we're going to talk about in a few. But I don't know, man.
I think signs are pointing there. Way more in play now than what he was.
Oh,
sure.
yeah, definitely.
With
way
us
more
not bringing back Edmonds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we did talk about Jordan Addison. Remember he gave our percentages?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Have you changed it all on that? Tomlin, because Tomlin came out and said, he was like, you know what? And we could see it through our moves.
Mm-hmm.
We could see it through our actions.
Yep.
Building up the O-line, building up the running game to help KP8. I feel like I just don't think it's happening. I don't think we're getting Addison.
Because we're trying to be physical. We want to run the ball, man. We're not trying to undo the things that we finally started doing really well at the end of the year. I think if we bring in Addison, it flirts with us going back to the first half of the season where we're throwing it high 30s, 40s. I mean, remember, Kenny had a 50 attempt game one time. All within, his first 10 starts at the NFL level. That's a lot to ask for him, man. So I just think to avoid even enticing Kenny or enticing Canada, you don't give him another toy like that per se. Hope Calvin Austin develops into something like that, but you just like, if we get the Jordan Addison, like you said, man, if you get in that, you're gonna put it out there. You're gonna use it.
I think we're gonna get a guy in like the third or fourth.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Jalen Hyatt? Yeah. Tank Dell? Someone like that.
Man, if we get Tank, I'd be so happy, bruh.
I think that's what we're going to do.
That's the one I'm hoping for. I'd be happy if we got him, man.
Brian Branch, though, I think if you bring him in, you're killing two birds with one stone, potentially.
Yeah.
Because right now, we're looking at slot corner as a need, and obviously safety. Although, safety, it isn't.
It is.
It isn't because we do have two starting safeties right now.
It is.
But with how we were playing ball at the end of the second half last year, we were utilizing some of those three safeties.
So let's talk about it, though. The reason why it is still partly an issue, those two players that we have back there are very similar. That was why the Edmonds element made it work, because Edmonds was very different than KZ and Mink. KZ and Minka are very similar. Minka's just a higher end luxury version of KZ, but they're both the athlete, more so free safety type, whereas Edmonds is a true strong safety, a true box safety. I just think that we're kind of overlooking that because of the sexiness of a free safety, and we're not respecting the dirty work that goes with playing strong safety. Kind of like when we love TJ Watt, we love the pass rusher, but we don't think about the Cam Hayward to the same extent, who's doing all the double team stuff and keeping it clean in the run game, or the inside linebacker who might get 100 tackles but will never get a Pro Bowl because this dude over here got 15 sacks and it just is sexier, but you still need it. Is that dynamic when I think of like the Edmonds and KZ and Minka. KZ and Minka are definitely nice, without a doubt, but they're just very similar to me, man. I think it's rangy. It's super rangy back there. Love the coverage element of it. I'm just more so concerned about the physical thumper, the puncher. Who is that back there right now?
Well, that's, I would say, more of our like inside linebacker type of need, or like you said, just a physical safety. And I don't think Brian Branch would do that. Right. So if we bring in Branch, we're feeling like depth safety. We can have versatility at that position,
our
but then
slot
also
situation.
Slot corner.
Yeah, love the slot situation right there.
With no Edmonds, that leaves a void in that potential box safety, box linebacker, dime linebacker type of thing. And he could also play safety, short tackler, and all that type of stuff. Yeah. So Branch still does make sense.
Yeah, no, he makes a lot of sense. But
I think we would still have to draft an athletic linebacker
at
some point. Whether that, I mean, we could go. I mean, you could go Brian Branch and then Drew Sanders, maybe first 2 picks. You know who I'm thinking? You know, would probably be the good Edmonds replacement is the dude out of A&M, Antonio Johnson.
Oh yeah. Well, their games were very similar. They look very similar.
If we wanted that exact type of player, it'd probably be him.
Those games, body types, they are very similar. But once again,
Christopher Smith, he's the one from Georgia. He's more Casey. He'd be just a duplicate of Casey.
Athlete type dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, and the thing is, Edmonds, he is not, because of the position, it's never going to get the type of respect across the fan base that it's supposed to. But for the people that understand how defenses work, he plays a very important position. And he does it very, very well. And that's the thing where it's just like, you don't just replace that with this athlete here, because we're not looking for athleticism. He already has that. You need the physicality, the short tackling, the availability consistently, and the fact that he doesn't blow coverages either. That's the other part. Like, you never see him out of position. So that's my only, like I said, concern right now is we're just still, to me, missing that piece. And what you recommended, Brian Branch and Drew Sanders, number one, we got to hope that both are available and that both are there for us and that both come in and play at a high level. We also are now dependent on not one player to develop, stay healthy, do their job. Now we're counting on 2 people doing that. You see how it just becomes a little bit more of an issue because you got more moving pieces now. Not saying that it can't work, because obviously we will figure it out. But in terms of the ripple effect of it, it does have more ripple effect than what people actually want to acknowledge with him moving on.